Hello, I'm Dan Genovese, Director of Consulting at EnerCom, and I'm joined today by Yoann Hispa. He's the CEO of LandGate, and LandGate will be presenting at the Energy Venture Investment Summit on the campus of the Colorado School of Mines, February 17th at 3:15 p.m. You'll definitely want to register and join us. Yoann, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Dan. Thanks for having me, EnerCom. Pleased to be talking with you guys.
Yeah, I think your platform is one of the smartest ideas out there. Why don't you share with our viewers a little bit about what LandGate is from a 30,000-foot view?
In a nutshell, we are a Zillow for land resources. We provide data intelligence, lead generations, as well as economic web apps for energy developers, energy investors, real estate guys, and also landowners, which is a big value proposition we have.
Yeah, so this Zillow concept applies to traditional oil and gas, wind, solar, carbon as well. Why don't you kind of break that down for us a little bit? If I'm a alternative solar and wind investor, what does the platform provide for me? What are the advantages of subscribing to LandGate?
Yeah, correct. You can see you have a great cities background for your profile. I have land in my background. So we deal with land resources. All the resources on the land, that's solar farm, wind farm, oil and gas minerals, carbon offsets, so surface and underground storage, as well as water rights and other mining activities. So any resource on the land, that's been the vision of the company, is we want to provide full economics and the leads that come with those resources on the land. So what do we offer in terms of, for, let's say, energy developers? We have all the data for solar farms, transmission lines, distribution lines. No one out there has distribution lines. We have full coverage, 100% coverage of LMP price nodes all over the US, and as well as hosting capacities. No one has hosting capacities. So we have a big chunk of data component there that we're selling to energy developers, energy investors. They can access it through the web apps that we have, and that gets updated every 10, 15 minutes, right? With updated data. Or they can access it and download it and put it in their own system. So that's one thing, like data on the, obviously, solar, wind, carbon, and we can talk more carbon also, and on the oil and gas side. The other thing we're generating, because we have all the data, we're generating full analytics, right? So we have web apps that we use for economic valuations. Let's say for renewable energy, we can do a users. So we have Lightsource BP as a user, Nextera. We have some big names out there, right? And Hannon Armstrong, and they use those web apps to run engineering feasibility studies in a matter of minutes. So an engineering feasibility study is how good is that location to put a solar farm, right? Let me evaluate that location. Normally that takes you several months and $50,000 to do those, a pop, right? We can do that in a matter of minutes. So they can do that in a matter of minutes using our web apps. And we also use that complete digitization connected with the data to generate bottom up type calculation of dollar per acres, dollar per acre per year for any resource on the land. So that's solar farm potential, wind farm potential, oil and gas mineral activity, carbon offsets on your land, reforestation, forestry, existing forestry, soils, all of that. You're an investor, whether you're a corporate large investor and private equity, or whether you're an individual investor, you want to know what's the value on your land. You want to know, like when you see land for sale out there on land.com or landsofamerica.com, well, what is the actual value of the resource on the land? Because I can tell you the resources on the land are on average worth 10 times more than the land itself.
Yeah.
So that's the thing we're bringing, is those analytics for the energy investors and of all sizes. And those guys, so we make revenues us from a subscription standpoint to all those buyers and investors. We have another side of the equation, which is landowners, real estate agents. The one thing landowners want to know is how much is it worth? That's the number one thing they want to know. So because we've done all that digitization of each resource on the land, solar farm potential, wind farm potential, or existing solar farms, if you have an existing solar farm or wind farm, we have all of that, then landowners come find this information, right? Prepared for landowners viewer, and we source leads to energy developers, to investors that way. So we have like landowners, the old business model that I was doing as a developer in the past and as deploying private equity money. The old business model is you typically have an army of engineers like trying to calculate things, and you have an army of land professionals knocking on doors, AKA the analogy is like taxi drivers knocking on the neighborhood's doors and saying, do you need a ride?
Yeah.
And then we came up with an Uber app that says, hey, I'm a landowner, I need a ride. I'm interested in having my land leased for solar or for wind or for minerals. Or, hey, I'm a landowner, I have an actual solar farm on my land, I want to sell my future cash flows. It's very, like a lot of investors want those. We have all those leads coming, and our subscribers get access to all those deals. So that's the big picture: data, deals, and leads generation, Zillow style, the smart way, and also the web app analytical tools.
Yeah, I know I've had the privilege of looking at your tool, and you've been kind enough to give me a tutorial on how it works. I'll say this from an investor standpoint, like if you're a corporate venture fund, an arm of maybe one of the big energy companies looking for alternative investment, origination, and opportunity. This tool is amazing for that. If you're a small developer and you don't have an office full of engineers and you want to do some real research that is very affordable, this is an incredible tool for you. So I want to encourage people to reach out to you, learn more about it. If you were to identify some customers that should be picking up the phone today and giving you a call and getting a demonstration and looking at potentially a subscription, what type of customer would that be?
So obviously on the energy side, you have energy developers. On the renewable side, so solar, wind farms, and they would love to use them economic web apps we have that are connected to the data that updates constantly every 10 minutes. And they have access to data that no one else has, and they can run those economics in a matter of minutes and spit out reserve reports, economics. They would love that. They would love the data, energy developers. They would love the leads that would come their way from landowners who they're not going to take their landman with a shotgun saying, don't come near my property again. No, those guys, they've raised their hand. They are willing to deal with you. And what we're doing really well as a marketplace is to make sure that expectations are not like set too high, and to make sure that the deal happens, right?
Yeah.
So that's like, we make sure like that that those deals actually flow and make it easier for the energy developers. Same thing for the energy investors. Let's say I'm a private equity, I want to buy renewable royalties. I want to buy solar rents, wind rents. We have plenty of those deals. And I can tell you a lot of those guys out there, they have been trying to buy those royalties. They cannot find them. We got them. We find them for them. So on the other side, if I'm a carbon environmental investor, same thing. We have leads and we have data as well.
Yeah, so I guess another customer in my mind is maybe if I'm a financial institution, a bank, and I want to do due diligence on an acquisition, is this a tool I can use to kind of verify some of that investment with respect to maybe the pro forma a company is giving me looking for investment?
That's correct. Then you can, because we've automated everything, and I'll keep talking renewable side and solar and wind, but same thing applies on the oil and gas. We have all the positions of all the solar and wind developers in the US. So I can select the entire position of CCR, of any company, any renewable energy company in the US. I select the entire position, active, under construction, planned farms, and with all the production, all the PPA connected to the production, I hit run, I see their projected production, cash flows from the next few quarters. And this is an actual bottom up type economic valuation, not an Excel spreadsheet one, a one that you can really rely on, and it updates every time they have new farms or there's new LMP prices or new PPAs. That updates, you can run sensitivities of what if ERCOT goes down for like a week in Texas, and what is the exposure of this company to this type of problem. And these are like very powerful tools and data sets of comparing all those energy companies for the financial and capital markets.
I definitely know just from seeing it, this is an incredibly powerful tool, and I want to encourage everybody to register for the conference. It goes February 16th and 17th, so just a couple weeks away. Yoann will be presenting at 3:15 p.m. Mountain Time on February 17th. Come and listen to this. Definitely reach out, and if you want to get a hold of Yoann and his team, my contact information will be in the publisher's note right above this interview. Reach out to me. I'd love to make that introduction. This is an incredible tool for anybody looking to invest not only in traditional oil and gas royalties, but also in the alternative wind, solar, carbon space. I just can't say enough. There's just so much information in there to help you make a good investment decision. Yoann, thanks for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you here in a couple of weeks.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.